We decided to reverse roles this time, and I'm going to ask the questions, and Barb's going to answer. Good morning, Barb.
Good morning, Bishop.
You know what? You and 51 other people just recently returned from the canonization of St. Mother Teresa, and you've written some wonderful articles for the Messenger. But we'd like a chance just to hear your own personal experience of what was a highlight of this whole trip for you?
I'd have to say the highlight was seeing the Pope up close and personal. It was just amazing. It's one thing to see him on video or on the news or in the newspaper, but I got to see him in person, in the flesh. And he's so genuine, so warm, so pastoral, and I could see that. I could see that with my own eyes.
You definitely can. That's very true. What were you feeling? I know they read that long statement about the person before the Pope actually says something. What were you feeling or thinking as they're reading about her?
Well, since it was in Italian, it was kind of hard to really think about that. I was trying to see if I could understand any of the words in Italian. But I had read, there was also an English version of it in the little booklet that they provided. And I just kept thinking, this is a woman that I grew up with. I mean, she's in my life. She was in my lifetime, someone I admired, I have books about her, and just have always thought that she's been such an inspiration for me. And to think that I was there at the Basilica or in the St. Peter's Square for the canonization Mass, for something that not many people get to experience in their lifetime.
But that also reminds me that she was actually in this diocese to receive the Pacem in Terris Award once too, which is kind of amazing.
Yes, that is amazing.
It is. One of the things that the newspapers frequently, or the newscasters keep saying is the Pope made her a saint that day. What's your understanding of canonization?
Well, I understand that the Pope declares Mother Teresa to be a saint, and I think she'll always be Mother Teresa. I mean, we know she's a saint, but she's Mother Teresa. And that's what I understood. She's been a saint all her life, really. But the Pope declared her to be a saint, to be within the communion of saints, the canon of the saints, I guess is
exactly.
I mean,
he doesn't make somebody a saint. He can say that yes, in fact, they are part of the communion of saints in heaven. When you're on a pilgrimage, suffering is part of it, or inconvenience as you're going on pilgrimage. What were some of the inconveniences of this pilgrimage?
Well, it was interesting. I don't know if you heard about some of them, but
No, I don't think so.
One person became very, very ill, and to the point where she needed to be taken by ambulance to the hospital.
Wow.
And so we were praying for her, and she got to come back that very day. But she was so sick, and it made me realize, we were in the midst of heading out to something else. And I thought, I need to be there for her if she needs, and she had a roommate, a companion, and that companion went with her to the hospital. But I really realized it's like, you know what, sometimes you need to stop what you're in the midst of doing because you are companions on this journey of faith. We're pilgrims together. That's, what, and another thing that happened was someone left her passport in the taxi cab. And so that was a nightmare. And so we're all sitting on the bus with our tour guide trying to decide, okay, what needs to happen now? Do we need to go to the police station? So we sat on a bus for like 2 hours just trying to deal with both of these issues. The person who was ill and whether she needed to go to the hospital, and then the person without her passport, because it was Saturday, I think, and Monday was going to be Labor Day. And
oh my goodness.
It's going to create some problems.
Yes.
But as it turned out, it was, and I'm not saying that God is a dispensary and answers prayers the way you want them to, but those prayers were answered in a way that was just so helpful. And I think it helped all of us grow a little closer, knowing that we're together, we feel for one another, and we're companions on the journey. In fact, the one person who was sick, she was having a little bit of trouble walking in the beginning, and it was pouring rain on the cobblestones. And 2 of the guys in our group, formed a human chair so that she could get onto the bus. And later that day, she said to all of them, she came in, and it was a humiliating experience.
Oh, sure it is.
But she came and she said, I just want to thank all of you for the compassion you showed me today.
Boy, those are grace moments.
Yes.
Very, very much so.
Yeah.
Very much so. I understand you also went to Assisi, which is one of my favorite little towns. What was your experience of being in Assisi?
I loved Assisi. I thought, no wonder St. Francis and St. Clare we're so embracing of all of God's creation. How could you not be in a place
Yes.
like that, a place of beauty and peace and quiet? And the frescoes on the walls in the basilica
Incredible.
were just, it tells the story of St. Francis completely around the inside of his basilica. It's just amazing. And just to think I'm walking there, I'm walking where he was walking. And I saw where the house where he was born in, and it was just, and it just, there was just such a sense of peace in the vistas we saw up there. It just,
Yeah, I've been there a couple of times. To me, there's always a sense of peace when you enter into the walls of that city. It's
Yeah.
just incredible,
Yeah.
incredible. One final question. I mean, you told us of a very, very beautiful example of a graced moment for you. Were there any other graced moments that you recall?
I was thinking about that. There have been a lot of graced moments. You know, I have a tendency to be, I know this would really shock you, that, you know, I get a little anxious and a little, you know,
Oh, no,
uptight about
Barb.
things. And that happened on the trip. And so there were times where God helped me to see, you know what, you need to just sometimes, well, in fact, Father Marty said to me, you need to be a pilgrim. And I got to thinking about that, and I think that was a grace moment.
Mhm.
I think another
Yes.
grace moment was during the canonization mass. I don't know whether I want to admit this or not. I had told a girl in front of me to lower her umbrella because I couldn't see. And I did that twice. And then it occurred to me, that was stupid. I didn't need to do that. And so I apologized to her, gave the sign of peace. I wanted to make sure that she and I made eye contact and at the sign of peace, and then I apologized to her afterwards. Because I thought, you know, and so I just see God helping me to realize you're in this all together, and everybody's a little bit uncomfortable in the heat and everything like that. And whether you can see completely or not, you know, what's right in front of you isn't so as important as the fact that you're there and that
Very
you're here
good.
together.
Thank you for sharing those thoughts with us. That was wonderful. Thanks,
Thank you
Barb.
very much.